You know what? We're going to go out. We're going to let this rock a little bit. I'm hoping y'all can hear. I don't know what's been going on with the soundtrack lately. But sometimes I've seen in a couple videos it didn't attach to music. But I do know if I play other things from it that it normally attaches. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to our intros, our inbuilt intros and whatnot. So here we go. Another Postal Blue Podcast.
Welcome to another amazing studios session. Subscribe to the Postal Blue Podcast on all streaming platforms and check out Amazing Studios on YouTube for video content. Also follow the Postal Blue Podcast community on X, formerly known as Twitter. We appreciate all the support we're getting and thanks for listening.
Yeah. I am your boy LA Styles, aka the LA Styles. And we are on another episode of the Postal Blue Podcast. Yeah. We are on, I believe this will be episode 9 if it's a full episode. I think that's episode 9 if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I could be. For some reason, I gotta check this now. But I believe this is episode 9. Again, if this is a full, if not, it's gonna be 8.5. But I might make this a full one anyway. Let's go to my count. Oh no, this is episode 10. Oh, I was wrong. It's episode 10 and or 9.5. Reverse that. 9.5 and or 10. Oh, let's get a round of applause for 10. Hold on. We're going to get a low clap for that one. It's really 12 because we got 2.5s in the tuck already. But this is episode 10. And we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to hold y'all up, right? First and foremost, I hope everyone's being safe out there. I hope everyone's had a good week so far. Again, our regular episodes, full episodes, always release on Mondays. And from time to time, we try to throw in like a shorter episode of 0.5. So if you ever hear us relate to or refer to a 0.5, that's what we're talking about, a mid-week episode. Which sometimes has been full episodes. I believe last week it wasn't a 0.5, it was a full week episode. I believe the week before that, I didn't do a 0.5. I believe it was a full week episode. That's why we're going to have 2 0.5s right now, which I believe is 3.5 and 4.5 are the only ones with a 0.5 so far. And the rest of them we have done midweek episodes, but they was whole episodes, which is anything an hour or more. In our own terms, an hour or more will be a full episode, or we get real close to the hour mark. But I want to consider anything less than an hour or 0.5. Well, let me give you a rundown. Anything that's 30 minutes or less is a 0.5. But it's hard for me to consider something that's like 35 minutes or 40 minutes a full episode. But I guess it could be, but let's need to hit on there. So we'll see how long this episode lasts, which again, it's a midweek episode, so I'm not trying to keep you. And I don't have the squad to debate with, fight with, pull teeth about, and bounce things off of. So typically it's shorter, but I could run it myself, but I don't want to keep you guys in the midweeks. You know what I'm saying? But we try to normally release these around hump day. My work schedule has been pushing me back. So I'm going to get this out for you guys. This is Thursday night, I believe. So if this don't release at midnight tonight, it'll be there. It should be there for you at 9 a.m. in the morning for Friday. And then we still got you on Monday, which we record on Sundays. With that said, again, hope you guys were being safe this week. Hope you guys stay being safe this week. Watch out for animals. Make sure you got your satchels. Make sure you got the dog sprays, dog horns. If you're in the plants, make sure you're wearing your gloves. Make sure you got on your non-slip or slip-resistant footwear. Watch out for mail handlers driving crazy on the mules if they on the dock. Mail handlers, make sure to be careful and watch out for the trucks that's docking. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody put their hand in no type of machines. down there, and everybody continue being, you know what I'm saying? With that, let's get right into it. Pocket watching, right? The title is self-explanatory, but it might not be to some, right? When I'm talking pocket watching, right? I've been seeing some things and hearing some things for a while now, right? On both sides. By both sides, on both sides, I've been on craft side or partly in management, right? Anybody who know me know I like learning as much as I can, right? Let me give you a backstory right quick. On me even being a part of the desk, right? So I was a CCA in 2019, 2020, and part of 2021, right? So I came in around May of 2019. I made regular in around April or May of 2021, right? In me being a CCA, I saw a lot and I learned a lot. I learned a lot of things that's grievances. I learned a lot of things that weren't grievances. Made me mad, but you gotta take the good with the bad at times, even when you don't like it. You got the right to complain about it and everything, but it is what it is. So I used to call stewards a lot. I used to get information, bounce ideas off, things of that nature. Also had a couple mentors in Chuck, the manager at my station at the time, and Randy, supervisor slash manager at my station, who were both military or former military, along with myself being well, I wasn't former at the time. I was still in the reserves at that point in time. So so again, when I came in, it's May of 2019. COVID is like pretty much like the pandemic is in full effect come like November, December of 2019, right? So it was a lot of things going on, a lot of mismanaging to attempt to get the mail delivered. I'm assuming whatever the case is, right? So during my second year, if I'm not mistaken, of being a CCA, I was interested in being a union steward, right? Well, let me rewind a little bit. So my manager or my supervisor, Randy, he thought that I should go into management, along with others thought I should go into management. I never thought about it up until that point in time because I really just came to stack my federal time. Which those of you who in the military, if you go to a different part of the federal or the government side, you can stack your federal time together if you don't plan on retiring in the military. For those of you who don't know that, right? So I came to the post office to stack my military time. That way I can retire. I don't have to do 20 to 30 years in the post office. I can still retire because I can buy back my military time. So I had thought about it, right? But then my manager went to another station, and then Randy had, I don't know if he went back downtown to his original position first, or he went straight to moving up to the EEO specialist. Either or. So I was just there, right? Still working, second year. And I'm leaning more into being a steward because our station didn't have a steward in-house. And we used to have to reach our house a lot to get a union steward. So a lot of our grievances weren't filed because, it's just bad timing. The pandemic is in full swing, things of that nature. It just all hectic, right? So I talked to people about being a steward. I did the little, I can't remember right now what it was, but it was like you have to submit your name to something, or you have to call the union hall to let them know that you're interested. They'll put your name on a list or something like that, which I had did. And then I come to find out later, which I didn't hear nothing. Then I heard, it's going to be training in February or something, like January, February or something like that. That came and went. Didn't happen. A couple months, I asked about it. A couple months went past. Is it going to be training again? Came and went. I didn't get any training. So I talked to the steward who was over our station at the time. I asked him, hey man, I keep on trying to be a steward or whatever the case is, who I got to talk to or what's going on with it. I mean, long story short, or shorter story short, came back eventually and had told me that the president at the time, whose name was Ron, told someone that they didn't feel like I had enough time in to be a steward. Right, I'm still a CCA now. The person who's my steward, who's from another station, told me that he became a steward as a CCA. So I'm not understanding why I can't. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of things happen in the post office. At about some time go past, I make regular. I'm seeing a lot of things happen in the post office that I still don't agree with. And when I don't agree with something, I gotta try to help. That's just my nature. I gotta try to help. So in my head, I can't be a steward because it's not like a long time since then that I became a regular. It's probably like 3-4 months or something like that afterwards. Because again, this is in my second year already, right? So I remember I converted in April. So by this time, I'm probably, last time we talked about it, I didn't have enough time in, quote unquote. I probably made a regular like a month or two after that. So at this time, I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming I'm not going to be able to be a steward. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the process of this, that, and the other. So I chuck it up. Okay, so what else way can I make a difference? Okay, cool. I ended up going to another station a year after that. They want to train me on the desk. Cool. You know what? I can take that to the desk because I gotta make a difference somewhere, right? I don't feel like me just carrying is enough for what I see that people need on the ground floor. So that's how I became part of the desk, what got my desk training, right? I find out after this, when I talk to someone else about being a steward, that they tell me, oh, well, since you had a 1723 is a detail, right? So whatever your craft is, assignment is, to get to a different assignment, once you have regular status, to get to a different assignment, or EAS status, to get to a different assignment, you have to have a 1723, which is a detail to another assignment that'll take you temporarily off your assignment to another assignment. Right. So then I was told, oh man, because you had a 1723, you have to now wait 2 years before you can take part in the union. In my head, that sounds crazy. Why nobody ever told me this before? This is my first time ever hearing about this, that this is even a thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. In hindsight, I don't know if it would have stopped me from going to the desk because again, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the other team didn't want me. Not to say it like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the type to beg anybody to come help y'all. You know what I'm saying? I done had my fight inside our station. I done won my fight inside our station, which is why I want to then be the steward, because I can help everybody else fight. Right. So once that fell through, okay, I'll fight from the other side then. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got to the desk. And then once I heard about the 2-year thing, it almost like it didn't matter at that point in time, because you still saying, even if I come down off the desk or stop messing with the desk, I still can't help. You know what I'm saying? I still can't help for 2 years. People who need my help, who want my help, the biggest difference you can make is a steward, safety captain, or management, right? Because you can kind of make calls. You can kind of make calls. You can't make no calls as a carrier, right? So telling me that is like, I took it like it's not something I can do. You want me to red shirt for 2 years before I can help people? I have to red shirt because I can't help them on the desk because I'm no longer on the desk, and I got no power as no type of steward because I'm not a steward. I'm not a safety captain to help in any of those circumstances. So what can I do? So you literally want me to red shirt for 2 years before I can possibly be a steward? Because that's still not a guarantee. You still can't guarantee me that. By the time 2 years come, you could say, "Oh man, we got enough stewards already," or "We got too many stewards already," or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? I could have redshirted for 2 years without making it. So I'm like, nah, I got to take whatever position I can take that's going to allow me to make the difference. So I've continued to have multiple 1723s on details, so I can, excuse me, attempt to make the difference. Right. In that I did learn a lot though. You know what I'm saying? I still stay in touch with stewards. I debate with stewards. I talk to stewards. You know what I'm saying? All the time. I still carry mail consistently. So I'm not one of those people that's been part of the desk that's out of touch or out of touch with their roots. You know what I'm saying? I'm a carrier at heart first and foremost. And I let that kind of guide me on the desk, for better or for worse at times. Right. So that's my kind of like my background. So we're at the 15-minute mark. Okay. So with that said, again, let's get back into the pocket watching. So this is why I say a lot of times I can kind of see things from both sides because I've kind of been on both sides. Pocket watching. Now, a lot of y'all might know what OT alerts are, right? OT alerts, and they're just a way in the door. OT alerts is a paper that management will print out of tax daily, right? And I don't know why this is a thing, but it's a thing. You print it out and it lets you know how many hours people have for the week. And you're supposed to sit it out or just have it so anybody can look at it. Meaning anybody can go and see how many hours you have or whatever the case is. I don't know what's that for, but typically I'm guessing they or assuming that they're supposed to be using it to see their hours, but everybody's name is on there with how many hours they have. Cool. Do you know that management takes it past that? Now, again, I'm not talking about every single person in management, every single person, but I've heard calls, right? As a carrier, I've walked into the station and heard calls, heard telecoms, or been a part of telecoms where there's people higher up in management, right? My management, I'm counting supervisors, managers, your managers, which is your CSIMs or OIG, which is your postmasters, your district managers, and anybody in HR that be on the calls, right? Do you know that they have telecoms where they talk about not carriers hours, but they talk about specifically how much money to the cent that, that certain carriers are making. Most likely, I'm assuming they over a certain percentile. I'll give you an example. The other day, I walk into the station and I hear a telecom where a guy is talking specific numbers. Right now, I don't know what craft this was in. I'm assuming this was a carrier. And it was someone that had broke the 100,000 some dollar mark, right? Maybe like 120 some $1,000 mark in whatever area they was in. By area, I mean whatever city, you know what I'm saying, that they was in. And then he went again down to the cent that this person made. Didn't say the name. He didn't say the name, but he did say that there's a craft individual, whatever that. Now we know there's certain craft that can get up to that type of pay, right? So you can rule out some other crafts. Um, and he said, "Man, then I go and I look in that area to see what person in management will make that level of pay, right? Then okay, cool. I find this person in HR. It took me to find this level person, a level 20 something that makes this level of pay. This is how much money these people is making. This man counted a craft employee's money in whatever system that they in. They're looking at how much money you make, which is crazy. That it has nothing to do with you. That you looking at somebody's pay. You're looking at somebody's pay. What system are you in that allows anybody at any job to specifically look at somebody's pay unless you're in the finance office where you print check stubs? It's only people who should know that. And that's if you're looking at it as a glance. You shouldn't even be looking at it that close to know what somebody made $127,413.27. You should know that. Should nobody know that? That's crazy to me. And then you did some research to find somebody else pay that's close to that pay and not even comparing it to your own pay. You went to go find somebody else in HR in that person's area or in management to then compare their pay to that person's pay. Why are you looking at that person's pay? That's crazy. This is like Some of the most disrespectful things ever. And then I'm gonna give you the icing on the cake in a minute. But there's no way that anybody should be discussing, let's say me, my money. Now that wasn't my money. I wish it was. But nobody should be discussing my money on no phone call with no 15, 20, 25, 30 different people letting them know how much I made or anybody made by name or not. And say, oh yeah, so this is why we got to get on top of this because these people is making this amount of money. So we gotta cut this and do this and watch this and so on, so on, so. You know what I'm saying? This person making more money than you. Listen to what I'm saying, man. Carriers do more work than you. Let's say carriers. I'm gonna put on carriers do more work than you. In my personal opinion, carriers do more work than anybody in the post office. If you want to make whatever money that I make, come carry mail, sir, and or ma'am. If you want to make what I make, come carry mail, put your name on the overtime list, and carry as much mail as you can handle. Now, when I go into work, I don't expect to have no overtime because the only way you can get that level of pay is with overtime. I don't expect to have no overtime. If I get overtime, that's not my fault that I have overtime. That's your fault. You have too many people off for whatever reasons, whether it's sick leave, annual leave, vacations, call-ins, change of schedules, whatever it is, that's on you. If you ask me to do overtime or assign me overtime because I'm on the overtime list, that's not my fault that you got money for me to make. Because what you could do if you don't want me to make the money is keep the mail and sit it on the floor and leave it on the floor. That's what you can do. Or call for assistance and get PCFs and CCAs to do it. That's what you can do. To have extra work for me every day, and then by the time the end of the year comes, to go in whatever system you in and then count my money that I only made because you kept having more work for me to do is some of the highest level of disrespect that I've heard at this place. At any job. At any job. Side note, management, if you didn't know, I personally, like something had disconnected and reconnected. Anywho, as long as we still good, I'm hoping. I personally feel like y'all make too much money for what y'all do. I feel like management should be delivering mail. I feel like they make way. Now, we gonna go here then. Do y'all know a supervisor typically, on average, starting wage is $79,000 to $91,000 to be a red badge? That's a supervisor, not a 204B. We're talking about a red badge, an actual supervisor. Starting pay. Because now I wasn't gonna do this, but now y'all don't make me take it here. Starting pay is around $79 to $91,000. Starting. Now, how many of y'all feel like y'all supervisors do enough to make that? Now, mind you, on the average carrier who's only been in about 10, 15 years, maybe, will probably be at around $60,000 a year. And your supervisor makes $11,000 more than that to sit down and eat donuts, cakes, and ice cream all day in a air conditioned area. Just my personal opinion. But you make 70. I'm sticking with the bottom 71,000. I mean, not 71. Excuse me. Okay, I'm thinking about the 91. You make 79,000. So let's say $80,000 starting, and you think you deserve that. Most of you would say yes, when most of you don't do anything. Most of you are not even trained to do anything. Most of y'all can't even put discipline on people correctly to get them moved, to get them out the station. So how much of your job do you actually know to be making $80,000 a year? Starting. Managers, I think it's around 85,000 to about 109,000. Those numbers could be off. But the 85,000 is about accurate on the low end for a manager of a station. And they also, again, depends on the level size station, right? Right now I'm talking about around a level 19, 20, 21 station. All right, meaning your station has probably around something in the teens, 20s, or 30s number of routes. Okay. Managers 80, 85, let's say 85 to about 100,000. Starting supervisors 79 to 91,000. Something keep disconnected. I'm hoping this audio stuff turned out fine. I don't know what's going on. And these people somehow have time in their day where they making almost $100,000 a year in their day to sit somewhere, go through a system, look at whatever top percentile of payers, go in depth on seeing how much money that they're making, then call other coworkers in their field on their level and on their level to have Zoom calls about how much money you making over them. This don't sound, and they doing this on the clock. They doing that on the clock, counting your money, then debating your money to theirs on the clock. That's crazy work. Nasty work. Nasty work. Man, y'all don't do enough to make the pay that y'all make. Most of y'all can carry at least about 3 hours of mail with y'all workloads. Y'all should be carrying that's 3 hours of pivots that the management should be making a day. Because your manager don't work enough. Your clothes don't work enough. They can go carry some mail. Now the opener is the only one currently that I'm giving the most credit to, because there is a lot of reports and things being added to the opener's workload. I get openers credit right now. Now I'm not saying I'm taking away credit from specific people. I'm talking about in general. Talking in general. It's not every single opener, every single closer, or every single manager. But the consensus of y'all, if there's 20 stations and somebody makes one of these calls and there's 20 some people on this call, I gotta assume there's somebody from every station on this call. That's nasty work. So everybody is in on the situation. That's nasty. I'm gonna say it, and I've heard these calls from the floor, mind you. Let's keep it there. I've delivered mail, come back to get a package, come back to get my overtime, and these type of calls have happened. And I'm hearing like, dude, what is they talking about? Now it's none of my business. I ain't talking to the supervisor about it, anything like that. But you can hear it because they own the telecoms, so the phones or the computers on speaker. I'm like, what? I'm gonna give you another kicker. This why it's crazy. This is why it's nasty work. I got my camera trying to focus. This why it's real nasty work. Do y'all know they also have telecoms, or sometimes just come up in conversations where they talk about their own money and how they're gonna what they're gonna do and how they're gonna maneuver to get bonuses, right? 4%, 5%, 6% bonuses. This is what we gotta do. We gotta cut down this time, watch this time, do this on the so and so in this system and that system. We gotta do, you know what I'm saying, make sure we on top of these programs, make sure we on top of these numbers. So and if we do for X amount of time, then we can get this level percentage of a raise. So this how it stacks to me. On one hand, you have intentional calls on how to or talk about and talk around attempting to decrease somebody else's pay, which is fine in ways, right? If you're trying to absorb overtime, this business. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking that. Trying to absorb too much overtime, that's fine. I got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got to start maneuvering differently to have less overtime because you don't want to pay the overtime and double time, whatever the case is. I got no problem with that. Right. And then especially if you coupling that with the post office trying to save money because we in debt and whatever the case is, I got no problem with that. I can't even argue with you with that. I let you get that off. Pause if necessary. But then when you turn around after talking about decreasing other people's money and then talk about how what y'all need to do to increase your money, is nasty work. That's nasty work. I have a problem with that. And that's my problem. It's my personal problem, but I have a problem with that. Let's stop pretending that that's not going on, because it is. Y'all are doing that. This listen. Just to everybody that's listening, right? I haven't probably made up a story since I was 21, 22, and this probably has something to do with a girl and the story I made up. You know what I'm saying? I'm way past that time. That's 18 years ago. I'm way past that time making up stuff. This has got nothing to do with views, got nothing to do with listens, got nothing to do with any of that. The whole show of the Postal Blue Podcast is to bring awareness, right? These same people that tell you or try to tug on your heartstrings, especially you newer carriers who don't know, right? The same people try to tug on your heartstrings, like, hey man, we gotta try to move faster, we gotta try to, you know what I'm saying? The post office going down, you know what I'm saying? We gotta this, that, and the other, you know what I'm saying? This it's the same person gonna turn around, get on another call and then talk about what they need to do as a station, which is like what you're doing to decrease your money, move faster, right? So I can pay you less. You doing that makes me more money. That's what they're doing behind the scenes. That's what's happening behind the scenes. Right? Now, I'm not telling nobody not to perform. I'm not even one of the people not to perform. But ain't nobody gonna play me. Something's going off somewhere. No one's gonna play me. And as soon as I feel like I'm being played, I'm gonna have a problem. And somebody best bet then is not to be around me or to stay away from me. I can have a problem with you, how you move, how you maneuver, and the things that you do, and can still be cordial if I have to be around you, and or to still just maintain and come to work and do what I gotta do. Now, when you come around me and start doing some extra, start being fake, or try to get me to do something like that, you gonna find out that you can't. That ain't gonna. It just ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. If you come to me with that too many times, you gonna start to have a problem because I'm not gonna have a problem. Right at that point in time, you're giving me a problem, and I'm not gonna have. I'm not gonna handle that problem well. So what I'm gonna do is take notes, brush up on my do my due diligence, brush up on my knowledge, go through the EEO process and everything that's EEOs. So go through the grievance process. Listen, by the time I get there, I'm not even looking for a grievance. I'm looking for EEOs on management. But I'm gonna be honest with you, me personally, I'm gonna start looking for EEOs. Okay, what's discrimination, harassment? Is this? Is this hostile work environment? This, that, and the other. Cool. I'm gonna let you think that you getting whatever it is off. Right? Let's say you keep trying to give me an hour pivot. I'm never gonna make an hour pivot. Right? I done did it back in the day when I was in good standings with my body and in good health. I done ran off mail hours for people. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't. I've done that when I was in better health, like 5 almost 6 years ago. Having a torn meniscus, right, and then working on that to the point where my other knee started to go bad. So now I got problems with both knees. I'm not trying to move the fastest. Now I'm not trying to go over either. I always aim to get the route that I'm on done in 8 hours, right? Because when I came in, that was the standard, getting a route done in 8 hours. So I'm always aiming to get my route done in 8. I'm never looking to go over. But I don't got an hour pivot, right? I don't got an hour of undertime to give you to go somewhere else, do an hour somewhere else, and then clock out. I don't have that. So what's gonna happen is this gonna be coming back, right? And if you start to do harassing maneuvers or attempt to harass me about it coming back, I'm gonna take notes. Still not gonna do it. So we got that understanding. I'm gonna take notes on the things that you said and how you approached me about it that day, and the next day, and the next day. Now I'm gonna do that for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on how often you did it, and I can build up enough material because I'm building the case. All right, I'm not jumping out the window. I'm not trying to go EEO in on day one. Nah, I'm gonna let you build up a pattern and build up a history. So by the time I go, I'm gonna take you in office. By the time I take you in office, file my claim, talk to my EEO specialist. By the time I take you in the office, it's locked sealed. It is what it is. That's what I'm gonna do. I can't speak for everyone else. And this has to stop immediately. Immediately. Whatever it is, immediately. Somebody gonna have to get an understanding because I'm not finna come into work and deal with them asking me whatever it is every day. That's just not gonna happen. Now, I've done that before. If for those of you who don't know, It ain't me talking. I've done that and won my EEO case. You know what I'm saying? I've done that. I'm cool with it with a couple EEO specialists. We talk and I get information. So by the time I go there, I'm ready to go there. I'm not just going there. I done already got it confirmed. Like, yeah, you got a case. Just do this, do this, do this. Okay, cool. Contact the special. Okay, this is what I got. This is what I got. What you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Going off the definition of this and going off the definition of that, I at least got both of these. I might not have this. This might be a stretch, but I at least got these two. Okay, cool. Wait another week. Let's see what happens. I'm talking to the specialist. By the time I go in there, you already done. You the only one that don't know. Out the three of us in here, you the only one that don't know that you done. Well, two out the four, because last time I was in there, it was me, the manager, the EO specialist, and the steward. But the steward didn't have to say anything. But that steward, with the same steward I told you about earlier, who was my station steward but at another station, could confirm that manager lost that case. Now, that manager wasn't a bad person. That manager was doing what she was told, and the supervisors wasn't doing things correctly. But the supervisors was kind of saying that the manager was telling them to. I don't know who it was. I just know it needed to stop. At this point, I'm being harassed, and somebody don't know that this is harassing behavior. But I'm not dealing with it every day, me personally. I got too much going on outside the post office to come to work and be harassed. And then me have a mental breakdown. This is how people used to go postal in the first place. And the first thing it said when it happens is, we didn't see that coming. We don't know what happened. We don't know what was going on. No, you know what was going on. You knew what was going on. Somebody done reached out or said something. A lot of people done ignored whatever case it is. And then people done flipped out. None of that changed the fact, because I digress, that's nasty work. Counting people's pockets, literally counting their pockets, is crazy. People should not know what you gonna have on your W-2s. Then to want to lower that, which is fine, if we talking about, hey, we got to try to do something because we spending too much money. You know what I'm saying? This is just an example. This might be too much, but that's still not cool. But let's say you using it as an example to talk about, we might have X amount of people here that's hitting this, whatever the case is, and this kind of what's costing us a lot in the post office. So we got to watch this type of overtime, whatever case. So it's on. Still bogus, but I can see that. Not cool by any means. So I'm not co-signing you knowing somebody's number. I'm never co-signing that. But if you just talking about in gist of like the hours, now if you could have did that, say talk about the hours, because anybody could pull that out of OT alert. Pull the hours out, and then you could guesstimate, okay, this person right here probably been in, let's say, about 10 years. They probably make about $30 an hour, 20 something an hour. You could about the overtime, calculate this, that, and the other about the double time. Probably make around. You want to just do your own math and do that. You're doing a little bit too much, but do that. Cool. We got a lot of this overtime. We got to try to do something about this level of money. Compared to y'all probably around this, you know what I'm saying? This to bring up somebody's money, to then talk about lowering that money for the sake of the post office. Let's quote that, for the sake of the post office, because we going broke and we cut corners and save as much money as possible. Cut corners and save as much money as possible, and then to turn around on another call and talk about what y'all need to do to get bigger bonuses that's coming up is, man, I don't even know what level of work that really is, man. It's higher than nasty work, man. It almost feel like this is in my head. It it's like it's in between nasty work and you feeling like you got to put hands on somebody. It's somewhere in between that. It's somewhere in between nasty work. If nasty work is here, right? If somebody just doing something that's ridiculous, you said, now they really shouldn't be doing that, man. That's crazy, right? It's almost like the difference between somebody throwing dirt on your name to a girl that's trying to talk to you versus somebody throwing dirt on your name to your girl. The girl that's trying to talk to me, they ain't really, you know what I'm saying? They ain't my girl anyway, and I probably got a girl, so I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, some hating activity, and that's nasty work. But then somebody putting dirt on your name to your girl, nah, somebody gonna have to see me about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So this is like in between just being nasty work and and between nasty work and putting hands on somebody. If it's for some, it might be at the level of putting hands on somebody. Because to me, this is ridiculous. It's definitely disrespectful. But I want to bring to your attention that there's people out there doing that, man. Management, you bogus. You're bogus. That's nasty work, and that's borderline hands. If people knew who you were and you know who you are, that's borderline hands. But again, that's management, and they like to hide behind the fact that people don't know who they are when they do things. Even when you hear them on a telecom, it's just a voice on a telecom. You don't know where they work at, what they name. None of that matters, right? But they feel comfortable being wherever they at whatever position they in to talk about your business. We need to start talking about their business. The union, we gonna see what happens by the end of this year. Hopefully, it might be sooner. Yo, man, we might have to start talking about your business too, because I only have so much of a tolerance before I start having to assume that there's a conspiracy going on. If you get what I mean, you know what I'm saying? If let's say there's three parties, right? And one party keep doing something and you ain't cool with it. Now you know for a fact the second party. So let's say you party three. That's party one. That's party two. Party party one keep doing something that you don't like. For the more extreme things that you don't like, party three or party two supposed to be intervening. Not party three, because party two represents me, right? Let's say party one keeps trying to rip off my copyrights. They keep on reposting my whole videos, right? And they getting money from it. And I say, hey, lawyered man, I need you to go holler at them. I'm missing money. That's your job. Copyright strike them. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop that. Let's put an end to that. Please. Thank you. That's your job. He said, okay. But when I'm turning around, my videos are still up. And these people are still making money off the videos. Now I talk to you again, right? So party one is ripping off my videos. That's management. Party two, the who represents me, my lawyer, that's the union. And I'm the craft employee. And I keep talking to number two, the lawyers. Hey, man, what's going on? These videos are still up, man. They still eating. I thought we talked about that. Oh, yeah, man, it's a process and a process and a process. It can only be so long that I got to accept that this is a process before before I just start feeling like either you really don't care about doing your job or you have to be in cahoots with party one. Something, you know what I'm saying? Now, it used to be like, okay, me and you, and we watching them. But now I'm starting to step back and I'm like, I'm looking at both of y'all like, dude, what? Are you helping them? You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't putting in the paperwork that I'm thinking in my head that you should be putting in on them. I feel like party one is getting away with way too much. I'm feeling like there's some lawsuits that's been missing in action in a lot of things. Because they didn't clearly cross boundaries. And mind you, I done talked to federal lawyers before about things in the post office. I done talked to them just to I'll keep my hand, I play my cards close to my chest. Let's just say that. I just told y'all earlier. I'm willing to let management think that they're getting away with something for about a month, 3 weeks to a month. I just watch. And inside I'm just laughing because I know what's coming. And I'm gonna kill that behavior when I'm on the floor. I'm gonna kill that behavior. If there's a reason I've only been in the office maybe 2 times in my 5.5 years. And one or maybe 3. But 2 of those times, if I'm not mistaken, was for attendance reviews. Right? You know, sometimes you get like a new manager come right in the door and do an attendance review. Right? So just 3 times in general. Maybe let me say 4. Let me say 2 times like an attendance review. 1 time was like supposed to be discipline for attendance. which was extremely bogus and disrespectful at that point in time with what was going on. And they knew what was going on. And then the fourth time is like when I did the EEO. Technically, we went in office for that, so I'm counting that in my 5.5 years. Right. I don't know, man. I'm at this point where I'm starting to step back and I'm starting to look at both of them. Like, this ain't. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is right now. You know what I'm saying? Again, management pocket watching, y'all. This is just me putting out the information. I don't know if it's something that we can do something about that. I don't know if that's a grievance. I doubt it. I don't know if that's some type of higher level paperwork beyond the grievance. I don't even know what a grievance is anymore. A grievance is just like management doing something you don't like and you write a letter saying that I dislike it. That's about as much as a grievance is worth nowadays. I don't even think we should be filing grievances. They ain't worth anything. They don't stop anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do something that's a violation of the contract. You file a grievance. When you file the grievance, they're supposed to stop. Oh, and the grievance is then settled and acknowledged that management messed up. They're not supposed to do it again, but they still do it. So what are we doing the grievances for if that's not actually stopping the act? We need to get to the point where we're filing paperwork to stop things. At this point, grievance is just like complaints. I feel some type of way. I dislike this. And every time you keep doing this, I write a letter to dislike this. I take time out of my day to write another letter saying I dislike this and I dislike that. And nobody want. They ain't doing nothing, man. That's a waste of time. Waste of time and paper. So again, I just wanted to make you guys aware, man. There's a lot of pocket watching being going on. There is people looking at y'all pay behind the scenes and then talking about y'all pay on telecoms behind the scenes. That is a guarantee. That is a 100% fact. That is a 100% fact. It's not me guessing. I've heard them. I've heard them. I've been on a call where that has happened. They don't make a point to hide it. So I'm not going to even say that they're hiding doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're assuming that they just talking to their counterparts. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes these supervisors or managers are on the workroom floor when they're on these telecoms, because they can't afford to be off the floor and in their office if they the only one in the building. So they got to be on the workroom floor where the carriers and clerks and stuff come in at. And you can hear these calls happening. Like, you come in because they got on speakerphone. They're not on the phone, right? They got them on speakerphone. And you can hear these conversations happen. It happens. These are facts, right? So know that. I just want to make you guys aware that your people are pocket watching behind the scenes. Now, again, I'm not saying this every supervisor. I'm not saying this every manager. I'm not saying this every manager's managers, again, which are OICs or CSIMs, depending on wherever area you at. Above them then would be postmasters. Sometimes you can have a postmaster not have anything under that in between or whatever. Again, depends on where you at. Then above that person, you have a district manager. They have calls about how much money individuals in crafts are making. And they don't like the fact that there's people in craft that make more than them. No matter how much work you actually do more than them, they don't like the fact that you make more money than them. This is what a lot of this is. I'm not saying it's what it all is, because again, we are in a financial crisis, right? We are having money issues, which again, to me, is part of the company problem. Because again, I don't know what products they sell. Oh, on that, let me add from my last show. Well, I'm not sure if it was the last one, but when I was talking about what the post office make money from and how we're losing money, whatever, let me add that we also do make money from passports. I forgot to say passports, and that's because not all stations sell passports or do passports. I think we only have maybe 4 stations out of our 20, maybe, that do passports. Maybe 5 out of the 20, maybe. So we also make money from passports. Just to add that in there, because I won't be going back. Somebody somewhere gonna say, "Oh man, what about this, man? You was wrong about that because you forgot about this." So I'm just throwing this in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna revise anything. But I did forget passports because the station I'm currently at doesn't do passports. The station I was at before that don't do passports. And the station I was at, that I got converted to, doesn't do passports. So I've never worked at a station that actually did passports outside of me being on the desk and being at 2 stations so far that does passports. So with that, man, again, just knowledge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people are Again, I'm not telling you to be a horrible worker. I'm not telling you to move slow. I'm not telling you to steal time. I'm not telling you to do anything similar to that, right? I'm not telling you to delay anything. All I'm saying is not everything these people tell you or some people tell you when it comes to you moving faster, doing things faster, or rushing is not necessarily in your best interest. It's in their best interest because they're looking at their bonuses that they're going to get for you from you moving faster, right? And remember, when you move faster, you're going to do more work in less time. So they want to pay you less money because it's going to make them more money. Okay. Remember that. With that, I'm going to get up out of here. I guess I will make this a full episode. Episode 10. We close enough to the hour mark, and I didn't even mean to go off on this type of tangent. It's 11:18 p.m. I got to get this edited and get it started to be uploaded for midnight for you guys, right? So, guys, I just wanted to get that information out there, man, and give y'all this other episode. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure to stay safe, be careful. Whether you in a plant, you in an annex, you on the street, you inside of a station, whatever the case it is. If you're going through something, get the information, talk to your stewards. That even goes for supervisors because they have stewards. Talk to your stewards, talk to your safety captains. If you got something mental going on, you got something that's affecting you at home, ask for the number for EAP, contact EAP. You know what I'm saying? They're like counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, whatever the case is, combination of them. It's all confidential, as far as I know, all confidential. I've talked to them as when I was part of the military, and I talked to them since been at the post office as well. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell, and that's free. That's part of your benefits, people. That's part of your benefits. You can call them at any point in time. You can call them any time of day and have that conversation. Okay. Don't let them stress you out. Don't let them break you mentally. Don't let them break you physically. Though to a comfortable pace for you to stay healthy and stay safe. And with that, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. The TikTok numbers is up on the TikTok shorts. The YouTube shorts is up. Appreciate everyone. Hope you enjoying the content. Hope you're really getting some from the content more than enjoying. This content, a lot of this content is not really meant for laughing. Not saying that you won't find anything funny. Again, these are bricks. Each episode, so well, not most of these early episodes are bricks in the foundation. We're going to get to the part where it's just way more laid back and we don't have specific topics. We just going to talk about the week and things of that nature, and we just going to be laid back, laughing, giggling about dumb stuff or whatever the case is. And then we have our serious things with something going on. And then we just debate and talk about y'all comments and questions and concerns and things of that nature. But these more toned episodes right here are direct for a reason, right? We want you to always be able to go back in our history and find the episode that you need to get information from. So they'll be titled as such. It won't be episodes that you really got to dig through. So I try to title them directly. Again, such as Article 3, Article 8, mismanagement, this whatever the case is, right? We're gonna have one that's just on EAP. It's gonna be very short. That's gonna be probably a point 0.5, where we give out the number, give out the information, what it does, what it's for, when you could call. We're just gonna talk about it in general and how important that is. So we will have an episode for that. We're gonna have an episode for heat safety. We'll have another episode for winter safety. And those are gonna be the titles for those. So you can always be direct and you can go straight to the catalog to what you need and you can find that information there. Right. And then again, you have other episodes that just way more laid back and won't be titled with necessarily direct things. You know what I'm saying? We're doing that for a reason. A lot of the early episodes again is meant for informational and educational purposes. But as we go down, probably over the next month or so, right, we'll start to get into way more relaxed episodes that's not so direct, way more calm, and we're gonna be a more chill, more relaxed, more a little bit, I ain't gonna say more serious, probably less serious, but still serious. And then more comedic, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And then you'll really start to see our personalities, right? If you've seen some of the other podcasts I do, you'll see I'm kind of real sarcastic, you know what I'm saying? And I got stories. I got stories, I got some bars, I got some jokes, you know what I'm saying? But I do try to be serious when it's time to be serious and give y'all this information. So again, Be safe. Appreciate y'all. Sharing is caring. So make sure you share this information with someone. Make sure you share the episode with someone, be it a coworker or a customer. Right. Hit that follow button, subscribe button. 4 things: follow, subscribe, like, share, comment. Actually, 5. You can subscribe or follow, depending on the platform that you're on. Like, share, and subscribe. Any combination of these things. And then please, 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 this is gonna help us out a lot on the 5th one. Whatever you're listening to us on, please make sure you try to give us a rating. Okay? No matter what the rating is. I hope it's not a low score, but if it is a low score, we just got to know that we got to do better. But that just helps us in the algorithm to show the stream services that people are watching, and they're liking the content, or they're feeling some type of way about the content. Okay. With that, y'all make sure to really leave comments if you do have questions, concerns, if you need help, you need assistance in any way. Make sure you do leave comments. Also, if you want to participate more, I'm thinking about starting a Discord for Amazing Studios, and then breaking the Discord up into the different podcasts we do, or just doing the Postal Blue Discord. But for now, y'all can go to the Postal Blue Podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter. Postal Blue Podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're building a community over there. Y'all welcome to go over there. We post things over there. We share the episodes over there as they release. Along with we post, gonna be some funny clips over there. And then as a community build, we're gonna actually start doing live spaces, at least like once a week, and then we can all just hop in the live space. We'll bring people up, talk, conversate, talk, whatever the case is. Let you guys chop that content up over there and do whatever it is that you want to do with that, or whatever the case, along with getting whatever information that you need to get from that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna use the live space as a way for us to decompress as well. And that'll be a way for us also to get a chance to actually talk to you guys in person, or for y'all to talk to us in person. Okay. Again, we appreciate you. Love, be safe, be careful, and let's get through another week without any issues. Appreciate you.